pole, car 83, is Booper Bear. Starting third, car 1MD, is Kyle Lear. Fourth, car 45, is David Williams. Starting fifth, car 23, is Derek Quaid. Starting sixth, car 18H of Rick Holson. Davis Lipscomb will go car 71 in the 7th spot, and Matt Hauser will go 8th. Andy Freeze will start 9th, and Kyle Merkel will start 10th. Tom Kowick will go to the inside of row 6, and Matt Marshall will go 12th in car 18. Stevie Long will start 13th in car 44, and Ryan Hackett will start 14th. David Puckett will start 15th, and DJ Troutman will go 16th. Bruce Kane will start to the inside of row number 9, and Matt Cosner in car 66 will go 18th. Walker Arthur will start 19th in car 87, and Wes Bonebreak will start 20th. Ed Pope will go to the inside of row 11, and car 99 of Rick Singleton will start 22nd. Again, your VMS track provisionals going in the 12th row, car 55 of Tim Shelton, and starting 24th, car 24 of Kenny Moreland. Your Steel Block Bandit points provisionals in row 13, it's car 118 of Sean Merkel, and starting last in the 26th spot, car 66 of Don Woodruff. And that is your 26 car starting lineup for the Steel Block Bandits. The halfway point of the season is met right here at Virginia Motor Speedway. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready. The Steel Block Bandits, round number 7.
Welcome to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble!
It's main event time, ladies and gentlemen, at Virginia Motor Speedway. 26 cars strong, the Steel Block Bandit Series. Ladies and gentlemen, come to your feet, take your hats off, salute these 26 combatants here at the Steel Block Bandit Series. Let them see you, race fans. Cheer for these guys. Let them know you appreciate their efforts here. Drivers from all over the Mid-Atlantic have assembled here at Virginia Motor Speedway. Ladies and gentlemen, 26 of the fastest Steel Block late model drivers have assembled at the Virginia Motor Speedway. It is the Steel Block Bandit Series. We're going to be going around. We're going to give the 1 to go indication this time by. Field bunching up now just a bit, taking this last pace lap. Coming down, Scott Adams, Booper Bear, Kyle Lear, David Williams, Derek Quaid, Rick Holson, and the list of combatants goes on and on. Pick a driver. Chances are they've won a championship, a race somewhere. Here they go, race fans. This is your main event, Virginia Motor Speedway. Let's send these drivers off. They're bunching up in turns 3 and 4. Here they go, 26 cars strong. Off of 4, they're punching it, race fans. Into turn 2, now Scott Adams out to a quick lead over Booper Bear in second. Kyle Lear is third, David Williams fourth. Now here comes Booper Bear, charging back to the outside, but it is Scott Adams that will lead lap number 1 as the field motors down past the start-finish line. Now Booper Bear looks to the outside. We're side by side, Adams and Bear for the lead, and many drivers, many cars involved in an accident here in turns 1 and 2. Caution on the field, lap 1 in the books. A melee of drivers involved. Walker Arthur now back under power. He escapes it. Tim Shelton in car 55. It looks like it's car 1K of Bruce Kane. Ed Pope in car 11. Kenny Moreland in car 24 as a gaggle of cars getting together in turns 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Now car 19 of David Puckett back under control, back under power, slowly motoring down the backstretch. He was the car pinned to the inside retaining guardrail. Ed Pope in car 11 now back under power. The Pasadena, Maryland driver shaking the car back and forth. This time by. Hopefully we can have a lot more green flag racing here for you, ladies and gentlemen. Scott Adams, Booper Bear, Kyle Lear, David Williams, Rick Holson, the top 5 out of 4 green back in the air. And it's Scott Adams now off to a great start. Kyle Lear now looks to the inside of Booper Bear. They're side by side for a second. Now Booper Bear squeaks back out into second slightly, but here's Lear working the inside side by side. Give Lear the second spot as Scott Adams continues to lead the way. But now here comes Booper Bear fighting back to the outside. David Williams in car 45. Who should he follow? Should he go inside, outside? They're side by side off of 4. Scott Adams will lead it. Kyle Lear will remain in second. Booper Bear third. David Williams is fourth. And now some contact between Kyle Lear and David Williams. It causes David Williams to lose his momentum, and Rick Holson now will look to the inside of Williams. Rick Holson looking for that 4th spot as Scott Adams now receives a challenge from Booper Bear to the outside. Side by side off of 2. Now give the lead to Booper Bear as they motor down the backstretch. Caution on the field. Don Woodruff in car 66 with hard contact at the end of the infield pit guardrail. Don Woodruff it appeared he was trying to go down pit road, may have misjudged it, and he centered that car. A hard hit right there in the center part of that car at the end of the guardrail at the entrance of pit row. The Inwood, West Virginia driver Don Woodruff in car 66. Now coming down the backstretch. Can Scott Adams hold off the hard charges of Booper Bear? We're going to find out here in just a second. Off of 4, green flag drops. Here we go. And now Booper Bear working that outside line once more, side by side down the backstretch they go. Booper Bear has the spot at the moment in turns 3 and 4. Coming down to the stripe. This time give it to Booper Bear, leading lap number 5. Booper Bear showing the way. Here comes David Williams on the outside, charging hard. He settles into the 3rd spot just behind Adams. Kyle Lear now to the inside of David Williams for 3rd as they come off of turn number 4. A trio bunched up for the 2nd spot. It's Scott Adams right now. But here comes Kyle Lear motoring to the inside. Kyle Lear will take the 2nd spot. David Williams tries to follow suit. Now give David Williams 3rd. Scott Adams is dropped back to 4th. Scott Adams moves to the inside of David Williams, trying to re-challenge for the spot. Side by side, Adams and Williams are, but now Williams will have the advantage going into the 3rd spot into turn number 3. Meanwhile, up front, Booper Bear now extends his lead, leading lap number 8, 22 laps remaining. Booper Bear off to a strong run here. About a 10-car length lead over Kyle Lear. But the battle is still for 3rd. David Williams and Scott Adams. That is 3rd and 4th. Coming down Booper Bear to complete lap number 9. 21 remain. Now it's about equalized just a bit. Booper Bear on the point. Lear is still 2nd. The first battle will be David Williams and Scott Adams. Now it's nose to tail, evenly spaced out. David Williams has the third spot over Scott Adams. Field streaming by. "11 laps in the books, 19 laps remaining." And just a couple of laps, lap traffic may play a factor into this, as David Puckett will be the first car that Booper Bear will have to negotiate. Booper Bear now down the backstretch. Now Kyle Lear has gained on him slightly as Booper Bear comes out of turn number 4, completing lap number 12. Now they approach the David Puckett machine in car 19. Field strung out all around this racing surface. Booper Bear still showing the way with 14 laps in the books. Now Booper Bear will close in on the David Puckett machine. That's the first car to negotiate. About 2 car lengths behind the David Puckett machine. Booper Bear now works to the inside. Caution on the speedway as it appears car 45 of David Williams. The Charlotte Hall, Maryland driver, car 45 of David Williams, with a right rear flat tire coming down the front pit road, as Wesley Bonebrake in car number 5 also takes his car pit side. Or how about Kyle Lear? Or how about Scott Adams? Don't leave out Rick Holson in car number 18 in 4th. Walker Arthur has made it up to the 17th position. Keep your eyes on the number 87 machine with 15 laps remaining. We're looking for a green this time by, ladies and gentlemen. Field bunching up, green in the air for Booper Bear and company. We're back on it. Now Booper Bear trying to work that outside groove once again, trying to hold off Kyle Lear as they go down the backstretch. And here comes Rick Holson to the inside of Scott Adams for 3rd. Side by side they go for 3rd. And it's almost a 3-wide affair as Derek Quaid gets into the mix with Rick Holson and Scott Adams. Booper Bear maintains his lead over Kyle Lear. Rick Holson now with a narrow 3rd spot over Scott Adams in 4th. Derek Quaid 5th. But it's Kyle Lear not letting Booper Bear get away this time. About a 2-car length lead. And caution on the field once again. It looks like car 55 of Tim Shelton has come to rest in between turns 1 and 2 in the outside guardrail. Still Block Bandit race officials working out the lineup. Rick Holson in car 18 will go to the 3rd spot. Kyle Lear, Rick Holson, Scott Adams, Derek Quaid, Andy Freeze up to 6th. Matt Hauser 7th, Kyle Merkel 8th, Davis Lipscomb 9th, Stevie Long is 10th. That's the way the top 10 stack up. Here they come off of turn 4 with green in the air. Kyle Lear trying to work that inside groove. He gets pinched down just a bit. It allows Booper Bear to move out to about an 8-car length advantage. Caution on the field. Wesley Bonebrake in car number 5 spins his machine there in turn number 2. Field bunching up now in turns 3 and 4. Looking for a start. Green in the air, they're back. Punching it, race fans. Booper Bear leads the way in turn number 1. Booper Bear on the outside. Kyle Lear trying to work that inside. But they're still 1 and 2 down the backstretch. Now Derek Quaid moves into the 4th spot over Scott Adams as Booper Bear leads lap 18, 12 remain. Kyle Lear is 2nd. Holson 3rd. Derek Quaid 4th. Adams back to 5th. Andy Freeze maintains that 6th spot. And then it is a cluster of cars from Matt Hauser on back. Kyle Merkel, Davis Lipscomb and company. And caution on the field, Matt Cosner, car 66. Car 66 of Matt Cosner making contact there in turns 4. It looks like it may be the car 76 of Ryan Hackett. Control is the length of these caution laps. Would it force and necessitate a fuel stop? So hopefully these drivers will take these last 11 laps under green. Coming out of turn 4, looking for a green. Booper Bear gets it. They're back under speed going into turn number 1. Booper Bear on the outside. Kyle Lear to the inside. Here comes Derek Quaid into the 3rd spot over Rick Holson. Derek Quaid maintains 3rd. Rick Holson is 4th. And it's Booper Bear leading lap number 20. 10 laps to go. The battle for 3rd heating up. Derek Quaid. Caution on the field. David Puckett spins, and now there's contact between Rick Holson and Derek Quaid, and it crosses Derek Quaid up in between turns 3 and 4. Derek Quaid and Rick Holson trying to get on the binders, making contact for a green flag this time by. Field bunching up in turns 3 and 4. Green back in the air for Booper Bear and Kyle Lear. Now down the backstretch, it's still Booper Bear showing the way over Lear. Caution on the field once again. Lap 24 in the books, 6 remaining. And this time it is Matt Marshall in car 18. And it looks like Tom Kowick in car 00, right, and a checker. Ladies and gentlemen, they get the 1 to go indication. They will come by for a green flag. Then it'll be a white flag, and then the checkers, a green, white, checkered flag to bring down the curtain on the Steel Block Bandit race here at Virginia Motor Speedway. Booper Bear out on the point. Kyle Lear is 2nd. Derek Quaid 3rd. Rick Holson 4th. Scott Adams is 5th. 2 laps remain for Booper Bear to try to get back into victory lane here at the Virginia Motor Speedway. Coming down, green in the air. Here we go, 2 laps remain. Booper Bear to the outside again. Lear looks to the inside. But Lear cannot make it work. Booper Bear now takes off into turn number 3. Coming out of 4 for the white flag. 1 to go for Booper Bear. Booper Bear leading the way. He's on the outside. Lear looks to his inside. Lear cannot make the move work. Booper Bear now with about a 3-car length lead into turns 3 Here he comes into four. Coming off for the checkers, Booper Bear will take the win. Kyle Lear will finish second. And Derek Quaid unofficially in third.
There he is. There's your winner, Booper Bear. Booper, it's been a little while since you've been here in Victory Lane at Virginia Motor Speedway. You do know your way here. Man, that car was absolutely awesome up on the high side.
It was awful good. I can't say enough for these guys. As hard as we worked tonight, you couldn't have worked any harder at the World 100. We had ignition problems since we unloaded. We've changed the carburetor 3 times. We've changed the ignition box 3 times. We've changed the coil. And right before we got ready to come out for a feature, it wouldn't start. Come to find out, the wire that hooked the distributor to the box was what was broke all along. It would touch together long enough to run for the heat. But, you know, the guys didn't quit trying. I mean, they worked hard right up until time to go out. And this is what we do for fun, and I'm having fun again.
You're traveling with the Steel Block Bandits this year, running for points. First of all, you're right there in the thick of things in the point chase, but to get a win back here at Virginia Motor Speedway, how does that feel?
It's incredible. I mean, you know, as you get older and times change and racing gets tougher, gets harder to get good sponsors, and we just decided, my wife and I talked over the winter. I had tried to race the past 2 seasons on a limited schedule, on a much limited budget. We wasn't having any success, nor were we having fun. It was just a second job. I decided rather than give up racing, I'd like to find some form of racing we could afford to do. We combined their efforts and our efforts. Merritt Sprouse and Chris Cromer, they already had a team. We combined some of the stuff I had. We brought the car to my shop. We all work on it together, and we're having a good time doing it.
Now, Kyle Lear got on you a couple of times. Did you see him?
Sure, I seen him. You know, he's run good all season in both divisions, and but why not have somebody right there behind you that you know race you hard and not create another caution?
I know you got some folks you want to thank.
Well, I do. A lot of the product sponsors I had with my team come along. Hoosier Race Tires, Worldwide Racing Fuels, Cam2, Sunoco, I'm sorry, Poske's Performance Parts, Integra Shocks, Kaiser Machine, Jimmy's Tree Service. I got to think of all the new ones. Jimmy's Tree Service, Chris's Auto Body, Marianne Sprouse, Merritt's wife, she writes a lot of the checks. And Moore's Creek Restaurant. Design Graphics has always done my stuff. KRS Graphics helps with the website. But most of all, my family puts up with a lot. And all the people that pitch in give us a hand here and there. I mean, it takes a group effort to put this together.
He is your winner of the Firecracker 30, $3,000, Booper Bear.